Hey friends, good morning. I am coming to you kind of from the future here. I wanted to put together a video about preparedness and what you can do to be basically prepared. And I put this together probably 6 months ago when we were still living in Colorado. So I'm going to show you some of those clips. It's just me sitting down with 25 items that would be good for any type of preparedness situation, and they're easy to obtain. A lot of these items you can get for free, and a lot of them you can keep on hand for a rainy day. As I sit here and watch the snow come down in PA, I think it's absolutely beautiful, but I cannot help but think, what could happen if we lose power? What could happen if we can't get to the store? So I've been really trying to re-up my prepping game, if that makes sense, here in Pennsylvania. But we, if you're new here, are kind of in between homes, and we're just trying to figure out what we can do to keep on hand in a small space. So this list contributes to that, and I would love it if anybody else would contribute to the list. I am not a seasoned prepper. I am just a mom who saw an issue with her own preparedness, and I decided to do something about it. So I share about that online. If you are new here, we would love it if you hit the subscribe button. We take a level-headed, positive approach to being prepared in the event of any emergency. So I hope you like this. Let's go back in time, and I'll catch you towards the end. Okay, number one on the list is going to be fire starters. You need a way to start a fire, and there's a variety of ways that you can do this. You can buy the fire starters linked in my description box if you would like, or you could just make your own. You are going to save some toilet paper rolls and a little bit of lint from your dryer, and just keep them going. Keep that in a running little Tupperware that's covered in your prepper pantry. Light that baby on fire, get some kindling, and go from there. Or you could marry an Eagle Scout like I have done, and they will make your fire for you. Number two on the list is going to be batteries. You're going to need different sizes depending on what you're powering, and you're going to need a way to charge those batteries. I would consider just buying the store brand. I get mine from Costco. You could literally get them just about anywhere. I would not make this your main priority when it comes to preparedness. Batteries can be a little bit expensive, but I find that if you keep that battery charger with you, then you should be good to go. Number three on the list is going to be generators, or a way to power your medical devices. So maybe you need a CPAP machine, maybe you need some sort of dialysis machine. There are a lot of medical interventions out there that require power. So I would suggest finding a way to power those items in the event of an emergency. I have my Jackery solar generator that I always have linked in the description box, but there are a variety on the markets, and I wouldn't go with just one. So find which one works for you. Find one that can do solar power. That's super important, and then go from there. Number four on the list is going to be water, although that should be number one on the list. This is not a ranking system, 1 to 25. These are just things that I've thought of for the list of 25. So water is very important. Find a way to store it in large quantities. Find a way to store it in grab and go scenarios like your bug out bag, but water is very important for a human to thrive. And I find if you are keeping it on hand, it will give you some peace of mind. So you can get some 25-gallon jugs if you want. You can get bottled water. You can get water in metal. I find mine at Natural Grocers. You can find water in glass if you need to. I have never canned water. I just got a question about that, by the way, but if you want to use your mason jars to can water, you totally can do that. And then I'm going to do a double whammy on this and say that filtering water is very important as well. So find a way to filter water. The classic is going to be a Life Straw, but I suggest getting those tabs that filter out water and keeping a few of those on hand. That way, if you are bringing your jugs to the river or nearest water source, you can filter out whatever nasty chemical may be in there. We are living in a world of chemical spills, and they are supposedly accidental, but I don't want that anywhere near my family or myself. So I would suggest finding a way to filter out that water. Also, talked about it in the last video. There is a way to find spring water near you. I always have that linked in the description box below, and you can find natural springs near your area. There are some available in every state, I believe, at this point, but I live in northern Colorado, so we would hit the mountains. There's a bunch up there, and that would be our best source of clean, fresh water. Number 5 on the list is going to be non-GMO heirloom seeds. I think that every prepper has this in their arsenal, but it's very important to have them, and I'm going to go as far as putting some cannabis seeds on there. I have grown that. It is legal here in Colorado. I know a lot of states are hesitant, and people are hesitant to have it, but it truly can be an amazing medicine, and it can also be a large bartering item. Cannabis seeds are super expensive, but if you get them heirloom to seed save, then you should be good to go. My favorite heirloom seeds are always linked in my description box if you want to check them out. Number 6 on the list is going to be food. I'm not going to do subcategories of the food, but whatever food that you want to have on hand, it can be shelf stable, it can be freeze dried, it can be indefinitely stored like honey, sugar, things like that. But it's super important to have food in the event of an emergency. So I suggest just getting some dried items and some canned items. I talk about food a lot on the channel, so I'm not going to talk your ear off about my favorites, but definitely check back into my emergency preparedness playlist if you are new here. Number 7 on the list is going to be firearms and ammo to power those firearms. Get yourself familiar with that firearm. Take some classes. Even if you are an expert, keep taking those classes. Practice your shots and just know how to use one. Confidence is key when you are using these firearms. Number 8 on the list is going to be liquor. Super important to have because you can clean wounds with it, but you can also take herbs and make them into tinctures with liquor. You could, of course, barter with liquor if you want to. You can clean with wine if you want to put that into the liquor category. You can do a lot with it, but it's super important to have, and it can be semi-inexpensive. I suggest getting 100 proof if you are doing those tinctures with the herbs in your garden. I have plenty of videos on that if you've never seen my videos before that are also linked in my emergency preparedness playlist, but liquor is a big one and I feel like it goes overlooked. Number 9 on the list is going to be medications. That is a big one to keep in the back of your mind, especially if you are dependent on those medications. I would go as far as to put supplements in that category as well. And then on the subject of medications, I wanted to throw in different things like an extra pair of glasses or an extra battery for your hearing aid or an extra hearing aid if you have the funds to purchase one. There are so many different things that kind of go along into that medicine category, but I wanted to add that in there. And if medical intervention is necessary, definitely keep that on your list. And then number 10 on that list is going to be basic first aid, and that kind of goes along with medications. I'm going to be competing with my heating system right now. I apologize, but basic first aids is going to be bandages, gauzes, things like that. I keep a tourniquet on hand. My husband works in law enforcement. He keeps tourniquets on hand, and that's kind of where we went with it. And then find something to clot that blood. I keep yarrow packets on hand. I just grow it in my garden, dry it, and then ground it up, and then keep it in little capsule forms or a little jar in my purse. I am a mom of 3, so it gets a little bit tricky with all these cuts and scrapes, but I find that having that yarrow on hand really helps when it starts bleeding heavy. So find something to clot that blood. Usually you're going to have something in your tourniquet system that goes along with that, but I have no favorite tourniquet system. I have a bunch of them in my little prepper pantry as well as in my car, but I find mine at Scheels here in Northern Colorado. You can get one at Walmart, you can find one on Amazon, but super important to have. And then find a way to clean those wounds. So that's where we're going back to liquor, or you could just have some rubbing alcohol. Number 11 on the list is going to be warmth. I suggest just keeping some heated blankets, regular blankets, any sort of warm weather clothes with you, extra socks, things of that nature. I feel like that is super important to have, and you're not going to be able to just go to your closet and grab a bunch of things in the event of any emergency. So just keep those separate in your prepper pantry. Some things that you just can grab and go. I suggest button-up flannels. Those are always my go-tos. Number 12 on this list is going to be tools. So hammers, screwdrivers, things of that nature, and then things that go along with tools like a knife sharpener. You're going to need nails, you're going to need extra screws, things like that. I really wanted to kind of group that into a big category rather than put it separate. Having tools in the event of an emergency is going to give you some peace of mind. I would suggest keeping a multi-tool on you if you can. I enjoy keeping knives on hand wherever I go. I grew up around pocket knives. My dad absolutely loves them, so I'm good with a knife. My favorite brands are pretty expensive, but a basic knife will work for you. Number 13 on the list is going to be added minerals and salt. You can do a lot with salt. Of course, you can flavor your food, but make sure you are finding a good quality sea salt like Redmond's Real Salt. I suggest that brand. I am not affiliated with them, but they have a great product. Himalayan sea salt. I used to get a lot of that pink salt, but I don't know where it's coming from, and I just trust Redmond's a little bit more. And in that category, I'm going to put electrolytes because electrolytes are important to have in the event of an emergency. You could also use coconut water or some packets. I have my favorite linked in the description box. I like the brand LMNT, and I have Liquid IV as well. That's a pretty popular brand. I actually have a discount code with them if you want to shop through that, but I love LMNT a little bit better. So I wanted to mention that. And then minerals, just things to add to your drinks like magnesium and things of that nature. The supplements I like to take are the brand Perfect, and I really enjoy their beef liver capsules. I like their mushroom immunity. They have a lot of different products that are clean and safe, and they add a lot of value to our health. Number 14 on the list is going to be toilet paper and wipes and maybe tissues if you absolutely need it. We all saw 2020 and how that went with toilet paper, so I always find that having a backup of toilet paper is important to have just to keep yourself clean. Wipes are great to have. I am a mother of 3 like I talked about, so just having those on hand are great because of all of the messiness. So wipes, toilet paper, easy ones to keep on hand. If you want to group in some paper towels or tissues, it depends on what your family likes. Number 15 on the list is going to be trash bags. I suggest getting some contractor trash bags. You can use them for just about anything. I suggest keeping them in bug out bags so you can have a rain poncho, but you can use trash bags to store a lot of things. If you're in the woods, you might want to use it for like human waste or dog waste, but trash bags can be really helpful. The contractor ones, like I said, are a bit stronger, and I believe it's the 2 milliliter or something like that is the cheapest, and they are pretty strong. So you can find those at Walmart or just about any hardware store. Number 16 on the list is going to be ropes, cords, bungees, jute, just something to make a knot essentially and store a lot of it, because you can do a lot with that in the woods. You can do a lot with it in your own home. It doesn't have to be this scary scenario, but rope is always going to come in handy, especially when you are prepping it. If you're going to be stockpiling these items, a lot of the items that I'm listing here are super cheap, and rope is going to be one of them. Number 17 on the list is going to be candles. Candles of all variety, just in case there is a grid down and you don't have access to your other backup light sources. Candles are great to have. So you can find tea light candles. They are very inexpensive, but I would suggest getting 9-day candles. They burn for 9 days, and you can buy them in bulk on different websites. Amazon I have found to be the cheapest, but if you have a suggestion, definitely drop that in the comment box below. There are some dollar lights at Walmart, but they only burn for 3 days, but we are looking for the quality there. You could also make your own with some beeswax, which I always suggest keeping some beeswax pellets on hand for that reason, or you could use them for different botanical infusions. So sometimes I infuse herbs and then add it to that beeswax and then rub it topically on any ailments I may have. So beeswax is going to be a category of candles because of the wax. Number 18 on the list is going to be fuel. So just some backup propane, butane, alcohol, any way you are going to burn is going to be key. And you can find all of these items relatively cheap at, again, Walmart or your local big box store. Number 19 on the list is going to be tarps, just a basic tarp. You can use it for shelter. You can use it to keep your area clean. There are just so many different ways to use a tarp, and they're relatively inexpensive. So I would suggest getting all shapes and sizes and keeping them in your prepper pantry. Number 20 is going to be soap and or a way to wash yourself, keep yourself clean in the event of an emergency. You could even throw hand sanitizer in there if you want. I myself personally don't use hand sanitizer, but you can totally do that if you want to. I suggest getting something like a multi-use soap like Dr. Bronner's. It's a 19-in-1 soap. You can use it for shampoo, you can use it for hand soap, dishwashing soap, just about anything. Dr. Bronner's is great to have because it's non-toxic, and they have a variety of different scents if you want that. Number 21 on the list is going to be some sort of insect repellent, and I'm going to group SPF in there if you want to protect yourself from the sun. I would suggest maybe getting something DEET free if you're gonna go that route, but there are a variety of natural remedies that you can use to deter insects. I have tried out using vanilla, which I have DIY'd and kept in my prepper pantry for the past year, but you can rub that on your legs, and ticks and mosquitoes are supposed to be afraid of you. So perhaps try that out. Vanilla is a good one to have on hand, and you can make it pretty easily. Number 22 on the list is going to be flashlights. Flashlights are very important to have. I would suggest getting something solar powered powered. There are a variety of ones on the market where you can just stick it in the sun and it will power your flashlight. It can be in your car, and it could be a seat belt ripper. It's just a multi-tool flashlight, and just have them on every floor of the house, and then have some more. You're definitely going to need light when it gets dark and cold. Number 23 on the list is going to be bleach. I don't keep a lot of this in my house, but I think it's important to have. The average American typically has bleach on hand. You can use it to purify water, or you can use it to clean. Number 24 and 25 on the list, I always like to add to my stockpile items. And number 24 is going to be physical wellness. Get your body moving. Very important to have. This isn't going to be something that you can keep in your prepper pantry, but it's a good thing to adopt into your lifestyle. So physical wellness is very important. And then number 25 on the list is going to be mental wellness. Make sure you have a sound mind. Again, mental and physical wellness go hand in hand, and they make a thriving person. So I suggest keeping both of those in your arsenal as well. Alrighty, my friends, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope this inspired you to get prepared on the cheap and to really think about your individual situation and what you can do in the event of an emergency. I am always here as a resource, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy cheers to the snow. I'm so excited for this winter season, and I love that we all have a peace of mind together, knowing that we can be prepared in any emergency. I will catch you on the next one. I'm super excited to get back into the kitchen and show you some food preservation. So look out for that in the coming weeks, and I will see you soon. As always, stay adventurous, stay creative. Bye, y'all.